All right, maybe a little bit of a different video than what you're used to seeing on this channel if you've come to my channel before. If not, feel free to check it out. I just do different programming tutorials, tips, and other videos that I find relevant. So if that sounds cool, feel free to subscribe. But today I wanted to make a little bit of a different video and talk about some things that I use or have used in the past when programming. So some of them are free, some of them you have to pay for. But I thought if maybe someone's new to programming, they're wanting to get into it, they might want a list of some things they can check out, some resources or some products to hopefully help them get farther ahead. So I might do this like quarterly. I'm not too sure just because things change. And if I find new products or stuff online, then I can share them with you in those videos. This might be a good series. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's go into free. Let's start off with free. What are the free things that you can use to get better at programming? And you're looking at one of them. This is my channel, Coding Under Pressure. I make videos on programming and I'm just a drop in the bucket. I only have 2.37K subscribers as of right now, as you can see when recording. There are thousands of channels on YouTube that talk about programming, some basic, some more advanced. And guess what? They're all free. Right? No one has to come on YouTube and pay to watch these videos. And the same thing goes with online articles. I've gone to different sites, maybe it's Tutorials Point or Stack Overflow. Those are all free resources too. So if you have a question, how do I do this? There is likely some kind of article out there to answer part of your question at least. Now the caveat here is not every problem you face is going to have an article out there on how to solve it. They might have bits and pieces, right? They might start getting you on the right track, but then it becomes your job to take what they give you and rearrange it so it fits your solution and your needs. And another caveat is sometimes you don't know the right question to ask, and it might be hard finding that solution or that video. All right, next, this one isn't free, but it is relatively cheap to, a college course. So, which most things are. Books. This right here is the first book outside of a college textbook that I've ever bought when it came to programming. When I started college, I didn't know anything about programming. I really didn't even have the desire to go into computer science until I switched majors about halfway through. But that's a different story for a different day. This right here is the first book I ever bought outside of school to teach myself Python. And that's the kind of thing that you need to have in mind is you're not going to learn everything in a class if that's what you're doing right now. You need to do some self-teaching along the way. And I think this book in particular, if you're wanting to learn Python or you think you know some of the things about Python, but you're not entirely sold, this book right here goes through everything from the basics and you even create a web app. It is the #1 bestseller, I think, in programming books on Amazon. Right now it's $21.50. So like I said, it's not very expensive for the amount of value you can get from this book. And if you're interested in this book in particular, I'll have it linked down below and you can go check it out for yourself, see if it's right for you. If you use my link, it does help out the channel. I really do appreciate it. And there are other books you can check out as well. So let's say you already have this book. There are other Python specific books like Automating the Boring Stuff with Python, Impractical Python Projects, and Serious Python. You can see there's different levels, there's intermediate. And of course, not just this book is out there regarding programming. There are tens of thousands of other books, or hundreds of thousands maybe even, of other books out there that I'm sure aren't very expensive that you can check out as well. And the great thing about books, especially one like this, it goes from the very start and it leads a clear path for you to learn what you desire. So if you want to learn Python, this starts with you knowing nothing to you being able to read Python pretty well and understand what's going on. For next thing, we're getting more into some pricier things. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money, completely fine, just ignore this. But there is some seriousness when it comes to having a couple monitors or dual monitors. It kind of seems like a meme almost that, if you program, you have to have all these monitors. But I would say having 2 monitors at least does make a difference. I personally have 2 monitors. They're both 27-inch monitors. And versus just having one monitor, it's great to have like some kind of IDE in one monitor, and then the other monitor you can use for surfing the web and looking up questions or things on Google when you have questions like Stack Overflow, and you can have both of those right there at the same time. And really, it just boils down to the productivity you have when having two monitors. You don't have to get expensive monitors, so you don't need some like 240 hertz refresh rate monitor to program. You can have some basic, everyday monitors and be perfectly fine. Like this LG right here, this 27-inch HD monitor, this is the kind that I have, and it's a good everyday monitor. And just like the book, if you're interested in this particular monitor or you want to look at others, I'll have this one linked down below and you can go check it out. And let's check out my last thing. Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about in this video is Pluralsight. Pluralsight is like the Netflix of tutorials of programming, technologies, etc. They have two products. They have Flow and they have Skills. I have Skills, and actually my work pays for this subscription for me. And what's great about Pluralsight is it's like videos, so kind of like YouTube, right? You have different videos on programming, but they go from start to finish, from beginner to intermediate in a professional manner. So you might see some videos on YouTube, even like mine, where it's not as quote unquote professional as you would get from on this site. Like here, they have an advanced JavaScript course about 7 hours long. Hopefully you can see that, which I don't know you're going to find a course like this on YouTube. And pretty much any technology or any language you can think of, they're going to have a course on it from people that have been in that industry that have learned it really well. Now, they do have a free trial, so I don't know when you see this if this will still be going on, but feel free to go to the website and just see if you can get the free trial. And then if you don't like it, you can just kill it after the trial expires. But I want to see how much plans are as of right now. And the standard plan, it is a little pricey, $29 a month. But if you want to just use it for a couple months or, half a year maybe, you can still get a lot out of it in that amount of time, as long as you, make yourself stick with it. I forgot to mention also, besides just the courses and the videos, they also have skill assessments, so you can see where you stand in terms of a programming language. So they'll ask you some questions. How you answer those questions will give you some kind of score, and then they'll tell you, okay, this is where you stand with this programming language. Here are some course recommendations that you can continue to further your skills in that language. And it looks like the premium version also has exams and projects alongside. I think this is the one I have for work, actually. But yeah, it's a little pricey compared to a book, but the amount of value, they have just tons and tons of video on here. The amount of value you get for $29 a month is pretty good. So that's my list of things. Like I said, I'd like to do this maybe quarterly or twice a year maybe, and maybe talk about other things or just update this list as time goes on and as I discover different things as well. But hopefully this helps you in some way, and feel free to check out the other videos on my channel. I would appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the future sometime.